Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. I just realized it's been a few weeks since I did a refurbishing. So, I found this knife, or remembered that I had this knife. This is an Electrician'S knife, Klein&Sons, Chicago. And this was a gift to me, sent to me by John over at J.O. Ventures. You know that John, he is always so generous and always looking for things to send. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Take a little look-see here, the overall condition of this knife. And I think we can get this one cleaned up very well. That's what our blades look like there. Look down here in the channels. You can see there's a lot of dirt and stuff, some lint. What all we got down in there? Not a lot of rust, so I think this one's going to clean up just fine. Oh, looky there. You never know what you're going to find down in here. Just a spackling of rust. We'll be able to get that cleaned out of here in no time. But along with this, I want to say thank you to one of my great viewers and supporters, because Jason sent me a couple other M. Klein Electrician's knife, and these have like the half-hawk blades to them. And this one has no tang stamp, or somebody's ground it off. I'm not quite sure. Oh, I know what it is. This is a second. So there's probably no tang stamp on it, because as you can clearly see here, it was a second. So there must have been something wrong with it coming out of the factory, and they just sold it as a factory second. Isn't that interesting? So, but what's even more interesting is look at the blade. Now, I don't know if somebody wore that blade down and then they cut it off like that, but on both of these knives, that is how the main blade is cut. So I don't know the story behind these, or why both of these were cut this way. I don't know if the tips were broke off and someone just modified them that way, or if they had a special purpose in making the blades like this, because they had a special chore they were doing and a blade like this helped them out. I don't know, but how interesting that they're both Klein'S. Both the main blades are cut like that. That's pretty interesting to me. So I'll try to get some more information there from Jason and just kind of see why those blades are like that. But anyway, I just want to say thanks, Jason. The generosity in this community is just outstanding. Okay, well, let's get set up to start to do a refurb on this wonderful Electrician's knife. After looking at it some more, I can see some rust like right down in there. Maybe there's some rust deep down inside I'm not seeing. So you know what? I think I'm going to start out by just giving it a soak in some rust remover. This is the WD-40 rust remover. And I got to make a correction. I need to look up. I called these Electrician's knives, but maybe it's just a two-bladed jackknife. I know Electricians, some of them did like a half hawk on here for stripping wire and cutting wire. Maybe these came this. I don't know. I'm going to do some research on these. I do have a Hawkbill Klein knife. That's laying right up here. There's one of their Hawkbills, single blade, like pruning knife. So I'm going to check this out. I need to do some more research. I call them an Electrician's knife, but maybe they're not, because they don't have the screwdriver blade to them. So let's just see what we got. Well, let's get started cleaning on this. I let it soak for a couple of hours in the rust remover. Wiped it off. You can see it always darkens the blades here, so we'll have to get that back off. But it does cut through the rust pretty good. Before we get started on this, I want to go back to these knives here. I don't know if this knife came from the factory this way or not. They both look the same. It looks like that's a factory edge on there. or on this one a little more. I cannot find out anything on these knives. See how that one's cut there? How they're so much alike? I don't know. If anyone has any information on these kinds of knives, please let me know. I have searched for, the Klein tools. I can find the single blade hawkbill, which they don't call it a pruner, they call it a stripper. So for stripping the old types of wires, splitting it down the center. And this is stiff, got to be careful closing it. So if anyone has any information on these knives, please leave a comment. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start with the tang stamps here, or with the tangs. Use a little wire brush here, just kind of clean them off a little bit. Get some of that stuff off. Down in there. Just cleans them tangs up so good, and then you can really see the stamp really good. M. Klein'S, Chicago, made in USA. Isn't that terrific? Not a lot of walk and talk. See if we can get that restored. These all cleaned up here. Alright, let's get started with the blades. Okay, just start out with a little bit of rubbing compound here. Just initially start to clean these blades off. I think this knife's going to turn out pretty doggone nice. Oh, that didn't last very long, did it? Hang on. So that hole was awful big on that one, and it didn't want to hang on and grip. Hopefully this one will work. Boy, I don't know. That seems awful loose too. Let's give this one a try, see what happens. Nope, look at that. Huh. We'll try another one. Well, hopefully third time's a charm. That one don't want to work either. Hold on, maybe I've got the wrong attachment. Well, silly me, I think I had the wrong attachment. That's a little bigger around. Yeah, that's what it was. Now let's try it. Show all my mistakes. I am only human. Oh yeah, that's cleaning off really, really nice, isn't it? Little spot there, don't want to come out. Hard to get down in that nail neck. Okay, we'll flip her over here. That old carbon steel. Getting that rust off of there. That came right off. Oh yeah. Okay, let's try the screwdriver blade. Just get an initial cleaning on all of this. Boy, I feel kind of rusty at this. I haven't done this for Seems like forever. One of my favorite pastimes. It's just so much fun for me, relaxing. Hope you're all enjoying it. Well, look at that one clean up. Okay, folks, that's kind of what we have for an initial pass on both of the blades. We'll check these back springs out. I'll bet we can get them shining up really nice, cleaned up. Back on camera here. You want to make sure not to hit the covers. You can damage the covers. Oh, she looks like she's coming right along there. You see the difference already, can't you? Little TLC, and sometimes they almost look like new, don't they? Of course, I am using this conical shape. It's kind of the most aggressive of the different felt pads that I use, and it's good for the initial cleaning. Gets rid of any of that dirt, heavy rust. Okay, so that's what we got again for an initial cleaning. I'll work on it some more off camera. But you can see the difference already. That's cleaning right up. Now you notice here on the bale, it's awful hard to use this on it. So usually what I do is take some very fine sandpaper. And I don't even know what grit this is for sure. This is 600 grit. So on these bales, you almost have to just do this by hand. And they can take a little while. Just clean on them like this. You'll see there's some rust right there. So we want to work on that a little bit. And this is kind of what I do off camera a lot, because this takes time. I don't think you want to watch me do this for 15 minutes, but you can see it's starting to come off already. And the pins look fairly good. Can't even hardly see the back spring. It's not raising up very high, is it? Oh, that's stiff. It definitely needs some oil, and we'll be giving her some oil. Look down in here. Let's just see if we can get anything out of there. Just see what that looks like. Alrighty. Oh yeah, getting some stuff out of there. So again, I'll just keep, yeah, there's some rust on there a little bit, right down in there. So I'll just do some scraping, and then there's this area right in here. So a lot of times, again, what I'll do, there's a little bit of rust down there in the bottom of the channels there, and a little bit of rust here on the brass. So again, I'm just gonna take some sandpaper, some light sandpaper here, and just be sanding like this. And I can sand on here, clean that all up. Look how that just shined that right up, right away. And then down in here, just sand on those little areas there. We'll get rid of the rust on there. So that's what I'll be doing off camera. Well, I've done some more cleaning on this, and this is kind of what our knife is looking like right now. Looking pretty clean. Got down here in the channels pretty good. It's looking pretty clean down in there. So a little bit of stuff down in there yet. But what I want to do now is I want to use the ultrasonic cleaner here. Try to leave the blades out just a little bit if I can, so that the stuff bubbles out. Kind of hard, 2 blades here. Don't cut yourself. Be safe. I have Band-Aids handy. Put this down in here. Got warm water in here, and we'll just give it a couple of squirts of some Dawn dishwashing liquid. I don't pre-measure, I just dump some in there. And I've got this set for 5 minutes. So let's let her clean. Okay, we gave it a good 5 minutes there. Take a look. We can see there's some stuff down there on the bottom. I really like using this ultrasonic cleaner because it can get into the little areas that you can't see. You can see down there in the bottom we got a whole bunch of stuff out of there. Okay, I'm going to set this back out of the way. Give me a little bit of room here, and I'm just going to wipe the knife off here. It gets rid of all the little pieces of sandpaper, extra dirt, and any of the extra rubbing compound I might have here and there. Just gives it a good deep cleaning. So that's what we're looking like. Still a little stuff down in here to get, but that's why I want to give it a good deep soak here now in mineral oil. I'm going to put it in here for several hours. The only thing I know about mineral oil is if you actually have wood handles, you want to be careful not soak it in the mineral oil too long. One gentleman said it really blackened his wood handles. I have not experienced that, but just a word of caution. So anyway, we're going to put her in mineral oil. We're going to let the mineral oil do its thing. Give it a good long soaking. Yeah. Well, after a good soak in the mineral oil, I've wiped it off. And that is kind of a messy proposition to do. But as you can see, this thing looks awful, awful clean. You can see some of the, oh, that's the old dirty rag. You can see here some of the stuff that I've wiped off. And I did some poking and prodding. And that's one thing you want to do. Finish your cleaning, and the mineral oil makes it easier to clean. But you can see all the stuff that I've poked and prodded out from areas like right here. Those have come out very clean. But yeah, this is all you do. Well, got one more little spot of stuff, didn't I? So you just continue doing things like this. And you can clean on it as long as you want to. But there is no rust down in there. This is what our blade looks like, and I have not polished it any. This is just from our initial cleaning with the rubbing compound. Now, I will leave a link down in the description box on how to fully restore a knife. I think it's a 2-part video that, no, they're both long videos, and it goes step by step by step on my techniques here. So look at this, half stop, and we got some snapback. See what that mineral oil did? Wonderful. Here's our screwdriver blade, and you're going to keep wiping the oil out. It'll keep coming out. Again, I have not polished it. This is just from cleaning it with the rubbing compound. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yep. So yeah, and then we'll look down here in the channels. And we can see down in there, awful clean down in there. No rust. Removed all that stuff. Just poke and prod down in there. Like right down in here, there's still a little bit of stuff down in there. And you just keep going over it. And any of these steps, you can repeat them over and over until you get the results that you want. I don't think I'm going to go too much farther with this. I'm just going to try to put a little bit of polish on here. Maybe make these back springs look just a little bit better. But this is a working knife. It does not have to look like it's new out of the box. You can leave, there's a little blemish there, a little patina left on it. You can leave some of that on these knives. I mean, they're work knives. Let them show their age just a little bit. Yeah, no harm in that. So, got a little bit of case paste. I'm just about out of this tube, but I do have a brand new tube of it, so don't worry, I got more if I need it. Oh yeah, I sanded on the bail here. It looks nice. No more rust. And that is my, my primary goal on a lot of these is make sure we get rid of the rust. Uh-oh, do I have to open my new tube? No, there's just a little bit left here. If you get rid of the rust and go this far with it and put it up and leave it just a little bit wet with the mineral oil, you can always come back later and finish shining and polishing on it and clean it up even more. But for our purposes here today, I think we're doing all right. Look at that. Shine it right up. Just shine it up. It's one thing, I bought these felt pads off of eBay. They were very inexpensive. It's like $8 for a great big bag of them. But they're not as good a quality, but that's okay. Many of them as I go through, it was a pretty good deal. See there? Looking awful good, isn't it? Nice back springs. Let's just touch up these bolsters just a tad. And clean these bolsters up. See, this pad's almost coming apart. Yep. All right. Just take a look here. Looks awful nice, don't it? I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, check the description box. I'll leave a link to the step-by-step video on how I do my knife restorations. And until next time, have a very delightful day.